Gaming has always been a huge part of my life. Ever since I was small, I was fascinated by gaming because you get to be or you get to live someone else's life, right? It's like you are dwelling into the minds of other people who have constructed that game, and in that you get lost in the wondrous world that they have created. My first exposure to gaming came when I was very small, maybe 4 years or 5 years I think, when my dad brought first computer to our house. And funny thing is, the guy who set up my computer, he actually installed a couple of games, or I can say he sneaked in a couple of games so that I can play them. The two games which I recall is NFS2 and Road Rash. You have no idea how much time I have spent in those two games. For me, those games, NFS2 was like Forza Horizon 5, which as of recording this video is, and the Road Rash is again that GT Moto game was. I played countless hours in those games, leveling up, just making sure I get first place in all the races. And slowly, whenever the computer went into maintenance, the guy sneaked in much more games. And this time, he introduced me to VCOG 2, I think. That's the game, yeah, where the final boss throws a bus. I think that's the game. And that also, I played like anything. There were only 3 levels, nothing much. One was in a city, one was in a train, and one was in a ship. 3 different scenarios. I think almost same boss, but it was hell a lot of fun to play that game. It was not entirely open world. There was no concept of open world. GTA was there, but it was like a 2D top view kind of thing. But I never got exposure to open world games until later years. But at that time, this was the open world game that I had. The other game was House of Dead 3, and that game actually gave me nightmares. I mean, it was fun to play it. At that time, there was no fear as such I had. But now, if I look back, those games were scary. Actually, very scary. It was a hell lot of fun to play those games. Apart from this, for every birthday, right? My parents used to throw me a birthday party, and to whoever came to that birthday party, actually provided us with gifts. And one of the gifts which I got for one of my birthday was a video game console. Not actually a console kind of thing. It's like an Indian console, I can say, the locally made Nintendo, I can say. And in that I had the infamous 99999 games in one, and I have played hell a lot of those games. Not just me, I have a sister, and we all played together a lot. And in my neighbor, there was a girl, and we played a lot too in that game. If I recall, there was Snow Bros, Adventure Island, and yeah, obviously Super Mario Brothers, Donkey Kong, Aladdin, Alvin and Chipmunks, and these are all the games which I have fond memory of playing when I was a kid. As I grew up, there was a period of time where I did not touch much on gaming until I went to Bangalore. In Bangalore, I went to Sapna Book House, which is a place where you can get gaming CDs. This was around the time when our house got upgraded with a laptop. Instead of a traditional Doom computer, we got updated to laptop. And I bought my first freaking game, which was a 5 games in one, and that was a game from Ubisoft. They were celebrating their 25 years anniversary, and there were 5 games. If I recall correctly, they were Assassin's Creed, Rayman, Prince of Persia. I think I don't recall the Beyond Souls, Two Souls, and another one I don't recall, but there were 5 games in total. The only drawback was my laptop, which they bought home, was not compatible. Luckily, in the hometown which I stayed, there was a guy who was selling pirated CDs of games, and I actually went to him, bought a couple of games, and guess what games they were? It was GTA San Andreas. Yes. Before I touched upon GTA Vice City, I touched upon GTA San Andreas. And once I got exposure to the grand realm of GTA franchisee, I delved into the other games as well. That to being GTA 3, GTA Vice City, and so on. This was the time when my computer, I started to play much more in my computer, though they did not support it at that time, but I held on to those games, didn't play them. And slowly, actually this was the time when I got introduced to another amazing game called Total Overdose. I don't know if anyone recalls that, but it is, I'm not gonna say was, it is still the best game that I played, like a Mexican open world, you can say. It was the best game I played. Total Overdose was a banger of a gaming. We have played a lot, and along with that we played Mortal Kombat. Another game which I have to say was Plants vs Zombies. You have no idea. I was so eager to come home and play that game. I don't know. I rushed home as soon as my school left and opened my computer just to play Plants vs Zombies. There are only 5 levels. In each level there are multiple sub levels, but the game was amazing. Plants vs Zombies is, I don't recall the category of that game, but it is the best in its category. The first one, the second one, they spoiled it with subscription and all those stuff, but the first one was really amazing. And obviously, I think everyone would have heard about IGN and IGN 2 games. The IGN franchisee was amazing. And I played all these games, right? I played GTA Vice City, though I never finished it. I played GTA San Andreas, though I never finished it. I played GTA 3, I finished it. But the GTA franchisee, the reason why I couldn't finish was my system could not support the game at that time. And this was the time when I told to my dad, okay dad, see, I'm going to do very well in the examination, which was the 10th board examination. I'm going to get this much marks and I'm going to get 100 in mathematics. And if and only if I did these things, I want you to gift me a graphic card, because that was the only thing which was missing. I had Pentium Core 2 Duo, which was actually a very good processor back in the day. It was a very good processor. And I didn't know about bottlenecking, all the stuff. The only thing which I knew was that I needed a graphic card. And I had my eyes on GT 610. It was kind of a budget friendly and the best graphic card at that time. Thankfully, I scored that and I ordered myself the GT 610. And oh my hoy, I played through entire of my summer vacation. There was a gap between me joining the higher school and the board exams, and I played like anything. And this was around the time I got GTA 4, and thankfully my computer supported it. And this was also a time when I figured out, okay, Windows XP provided me with different service packs. I didn't know about that. I didn't know what the service pack was. There was actually service pack 2, 3 and something X, and we also have DirectX kind of compatibility issues as well. And all these issues came up and I learned about them, fixed them, played the game. It was really amazing. The GTA franchisee, I still remember. I bought the CD, the GTA 4 Chef's Kiss. But once this GTA trend slowly started to fade away, I bought the GTA Liberty City. I think Ballad of Gay Tony and another one. It was in the same universe, GTA 4's universe, but in a different sub-genre, I think. I bought those games but never really finished it. I still have those CDs. Maybe I can revisit it someday someday I can revisit them. The other thing about, as I told, I played this for a year or so, and slowly went back, and as I was searching for new games to play, I stumbled upon. Remember, I bought a 5-pack CD from Ubisoft for their 25th anniversary. Well, I picked up Assassin's Creed franchising. Before I go into Assassin's Creed franchising, I want to tell you about the other stuff. This was everything which was happening in my house. Apart from this, I used to play outside as well, meaning the internet cafes, which is a rarity nowadays, but at that time they were absolutely necessary. I had a friend who owned an internet cafe very near to our house, and as a drug dealer, I was his game dealer. I used to go give him the games, and in return, he used to let me play for some time in his systems because his systems were actually very great. And it was around this time that I wanted to have an actual console, right? I wanted to feel that controller in my hand. Up until this point, I've always been playing in my keyboard and mouse. I never thought that, okay, you can actually connect your system to a controller. I had no idea about that back in the day, but I wanted to have a controller. Especially at that time, it was PS2. It was the era of PS2, not even PS3. And I wanted to have that. Unfortunately, I couldn't convince my parents to invest such a huge amount into consoles. But thankfully, a guy opened a gaming parlor very near to me. It was just one bicycle ride away, and I have played countless hours there. The only game which I played there was WWE Franchisee, which was amazing. WWE 2K, sorry, not 2K. It was WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2011 game, I think. It was the best game, period, in the WWE universe because the roster was very good, the gameplay was very good. You can actually break someone's leg, they will just, become handicapped. You can break someone's arm. It was actually very good optimized game. And also a little bit of God of War, but I never really knew what this franchisee was, the huge franchisee of God of War, but I played a little bit here and there. And yeah, now coming back to the Assassin's Creed thing. Now, Assassin's Creed, I played the first game. First game, you didn't have much of freedom. You had freedom, but not entirety of freedom. And I was instantly hooked to the game. The world was ending. It had connection with biblical origins, with Adam's apple, and otherworldly beings. I was so fascinated by that concept that I immediately searched upon, is there other games like this? And thankfully, at the time of me playing Assassin's Creed, they have already released bunch of Assassin's Creed, and till Assassin's Creed Black Flag, I think. Yeah, till that time, they have released all these games, meaning they have released Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, Revelations 3, and Black Flag. There are in total 6 fucking games. And I left everything that I was doing, even the studies. And that's why I got poor grades in my first year of pre-university. Just to barely pass to the next thing, but I did not score well. Why? I was hooked to the Assassin's Creed franchise. I bought one game after another after finishing, and my favorite of them all was Assassin's Creed 2. This was the game which fascinated me. I have 100% completed the game. There was one quest I still today remember, the quest of collecting the feathers. And I even looked up all the location, entirety of the map, and went to every single location to just collect those feathers so that I can complete the damn fucking game. It was amazing playing that game. And obviously, I went on collecting all these games. Revelations was actually very good. It was a different touch because they connected the first game to the second game's franchisee. Really brilliant. And the third game was actually very good. But they fucked up in the end. I like the theme where they touched upon the historical moments, but the real world events, they fucked up, man. They could have, even elaborated a little bit more or taken even a bit more on the real world events, but they killed Edmund and the rest of the franchise just fell off from there. Black Flag carried because it was pirate theme and it was actually a well optimized game with the ships and the islands and exploring stuff. It was actually very good. The next game failed miserably, which was Assassin's Creed Unity. I actually bought that game, I think. Yeah. Assassin's Creed Unity was the game which came out crappy but was one of the most graphically intensive and most accurate parkour moments which had in the game. Thankfully, I did not face much issue in my system, though it barely ran the game, but I was getting around 25 to 30 FPS, which was more than enough for me back in the day. The next game in that franchise was Assassin's Creed Syndicate, which was the first time they introduced two separate assassins who you can play at the same time. Not at the same time, but you can switch between them. That was actually a really good game in the Industrial Revolution time. After that, the series fell even more with Assassin's Creed Origins. I don't have a bad opinion on Origins because I had fun playing the game, exploring the deserts and just enjoying the game instead of associating with Assassin's Creed and exploring it as an Egyptian, spy or something like that, you can say. It was actually as a standalone game, it's really good. The connection to Assassin's Creed franchise, not that good. But then came along Assassin's Creed Origins, which even fell more. This time they focused more on RPG-like style, and the game spanned more than 40 to 50 hours, which was even worse. The concept was good, Spartans, but the real world story was fucked up and all those stuff. And the next game in their franchise was Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which I have not played. Seriously, I have not played. I have played all the games up until Odyssey, completing everything, but Valhalla I did not play. It did not feel like an Assassin's Creed game to me. If they have just named it Valhalla, maybe it would have become a hit, taking the Assassin's element out of it, but putting the Assassin's element, I did not really enjoy the game that much. But recently I jumped back into Assassin's Creed Mirage, which is actually fun to play. It brought back the memories of me playing Assassin's Creed for the first time, but still it lacks certain Assassin's touch, which was the real world story. The main thing which made the game more interesting was not the assassin stuff which we were doing, but the real world consequences that the assassins had on them. But now it all got mixed up, something, I don't know what is happening in that story. So yeah, that was my Assassin's Creed franchise. Let me come back to GTA franchise. As I told, I finished GTA 4 and then I bought the next game, which was Grand Theft Auto Liberty City, I think, because it had two games, Ballad of Gay Tony and another game which I don't know. It was two separate games, very short games, and happened in the same universe as GTA 4. And then came the big dog, Grand Theft Auto 5. Thankfully, my PC ran the game, and with the 25 to 30 FPS, I played the game in entirety. I never explored the online world because I never had anyone to play with that game at that time. And when I had someone to play with, the moment had passed, and I'm just waiting for Grand Theft Auto 6, that's all, so that I can jump into the online world and just go crazy. This was my Grand Theft Auto series. And then at this time, towards the very end of the PlayStation 4's life cycle, I actually bought PlayStation 4. And thankfully this was pre-COVID, meaning this was just 1 month before COVID. COVID hit on March, and in February I bought a PS4. Oh my god, I have spent hours playing the game. I bought the PlayStation Plus subscription and I played the Uncharted series right from 1 to 4. I played everything. Then I played God of War. Then I played Shadow of Colossus. It was very good. And then I played Spider-Man franchise, which was again amazing. Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales. And right now, I bought the game of Ghost of Tsushima back in the day, but I never actually got the time to play Ghost of Tsushima. I need to play that one. Horizon Zero Dawn is another game which I haven't played. And God of War, I played the first one. I really loved it. The Ragnarok, yes, I loved it. Not as much as I loved the first one, but I played it very recently, even though I bought it when I actually pre-ordered it, but I never played it. I played it very recently. That is my PlayStation's journey. And after post-COVID, I started to work and started to earn a little bit money, and I wanted a handle. And the best one, affordable, which I had was Nintendo Switch Lite. And my motto was one thing: I will play only the games which are exclusive to Nintendo Switch, which are not available for PC. The same thing was for PS4. Only the exclusive games which I will play, other games I will not touch, because I have a PC and I want to honor that. Yeah, regarding the PC, after my second PUC, right, I actually did the same exact bet which I did with my dad for the 10th board exams. I did the same with my dad, that I'm going to score this much and I will have 100 on mathematics, and I want you to give me a graphic card, or not just a graphic card, an entire system. Thankfully I did, and after a couple of years post my exams, actually got the machine built. It was Intel Core 7400 processor with GTX 1050 Ti graphic card, 4GB, and with 16GB of RAM. A killer beast, which carried me up until last year. I played it for the most part. All the games which I mentioned for the PC, I played most of it on there. For the past 7 to 8 years, I have been using that system, and I still do use that system. Though I can't play very heavily graphic intensive games, but I still do play those games. Coming back to the Nintendo Switch, yeah, as I told, I have only one motto in my mind: play the exclusive games on the respective consoles that I own. And that's exactly what I did. I actually bought Nintendo Switch exclusives, which are Pokemon franchises and Legend of Zelda franchises, which I played like anything. The Pokemon games I played very good. I mean, I played Pokemon Sword, then came Pokemon Violet, then came Pokemon Arceus, and I actually bought Life is Strange as well, because I didn't want to spend time sitting on my computer playing a dialogue intensive game. So I thought, Switch would be a perfect candidate to that. And then recently, all these stories which I have told you are up until 2023 or 2022 December. Now comes the previous year, or should I say 2 years, as today is 2025. In 2023, I thought to myself, okay, my system is failing to run most of the latest games that I have. It was high time that I upgraded my system to future-proof for the next 10 years. And that is exactly what I did. I bought GeForce RTX 4070 with Intel i5 13000 series, 13th gen, or you can say, with 32 gigs of RAM, with killer RGB lighting case, and with more than 5 to 6 TB of storage. Now everything is full right now. 5 to 6, I don't know what is filled. I need to check that one. But yeah, I bought that. But since I bought that, I have not extensively played on it. Yes, I was playing Genshin Impact, but Genshin Impact is not a graphically very intensive game. I could have played it in my old computer, but I wanted to play some of the latest games, which was Hogwarts Legacy, Cyberpunk 2077, or Red Dead Redemption 2, or the latest game, you can say, Black Myth Wukong. And this PC runs it fabulously. I get nearly 100 plus FPS on it, and wow. But since I bought this computer, I'm gonna tell you what why I didn't play much games. Since I bought this computer, I never really got time to play because in my career, I chose a very difficult choice. I made a very difficult choice about my career, which I'm going to talk about maybe down in some other video. But I made a very difficult choice, and as a result of that, I was not able to fully invest in gaming. As a result, I lost touch to gaming altogether. I told you I bought Pokemon Arceus, right? I bought it when it was released, but for over a year I did not play it. None of the games I was playing. And I forced myself to play Pokemon Arceus, and that was all. I did not play Pokemon Violet. I played a little bit, but I left it middle way. This is 2024 which I'm talking about, and for the most part of 2024, which is latter until maybe August or September, I did not play a single game. I forced myself to play the games, but I was very much demotivated to play a game. Thankfully, this was the time that I made a decision which changed my trajectory of gaming, which was buying Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I have spent 60 to 70 hours on that freaking game after a very, very, very long time, and it felt really good. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was like a breath of fresh air. I went on exploring the world, interacting with it, cooking, killing the enemies, taking down the divine beasts. Eventually, I explored every single thing. I didn't want to finish the game because once I do, I really go back to the game. That's why I didn't want to finish the game. I went back, did all the side quests, every single small thing which I could, I was doing it. It was the game which actually reignited that withered out flame which was in my heart, and it burst like crazy. After that, I jumped into the gaming again, and this time, thankfully, at the right time, Black Myth Wukong had released. And oh my god, it was like pouring a bunch of petroleum products or kerosene into the already burning fire that burst like anything I have ever seen. If you are a gamer, if you have touched upon gaming at some point in your life and you want to get back into gaming, and you have lost touch of gaming for years together, you have not done anything, and you want to get back into gaming and you want to feel that, the adrenaline rush, the close encounters of killing a boss, the very core of having that excitement of playing that game again as a child that you had, I highly recommend you play Black Myth Wukong. I am right now currently playing the game and I don't want it to end. I have just finished chapter 5 and there is only one chapter left. I don't want it to end. I'm just going back, doing all the side quests which I missed, all the secret bosses which I missed, just so that I can prolong that ending that I have. But I think this might be the first game that I might replay through. There's a new feature that they released, the new Game Plus, and you can just keep on rotating this. I think I'm going to keep playing that. That's the kind of fire it lit. And because of that fire came an expense of nearly 5,000 rupees. Why? Nearly $100 for those who are listening outside of India. Not exactly 100, but around that, 80 to 100. Why? I bought a bunch of other games. I bought Elden Ring because I wanted to experience Souls-like game, and they told Elden Ring is the best game that has been ever made, and it mimics, I don't know which came first. I really don't know. I'm sorry if I'm saying this, but it is more similar to Black Myth Wukong is what I heard, and it is much more difficult is what I heard. Let's see. But I want to play Elden Ring, so I bought Elden Ring. I want to play Lies of P, and I bought a bunch of other small games. Tell Me Why, Firewatch, Stray. I have not played Stray, and I actually bought some space simulation games and bought Red Dead Redemption 2, Assassin's Creed Mirage, Hogwarts Legacy. I have so much game that I want to play, and it is all thanks to the two games. If I'm going to look back maybe in the next 10 to 20 years, if I live, I'm going to look back on this moment where it again changed my course. This happened to me back in when I started Assassin's Creed. That was the reignition that I needed. But the reignition right now is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Black Myth Wukong. Both are amazing. And yeah, also Cyberpunk 2077, I actually finished the game, but they have released a DLC which is a whole lot another game on top of that, is what I've heard, and I also want to experience that. So yeah, I have not bought any PS5s. This is what happens. I really want to buy a PS5, and also the handheld consoles which are going crazy, the Steam Deck, Asus ROG Ally, and also some of the VR stuff I want to play and experience. But this is what happens. Whenever you get to a point where you think you can afford the things, the prices of the things just skyrockets. This was the thing which happened back in the day when I couldn't afford to buy a PlayStation 2, which was around 20,000. But now I can afford a PS2, but I can't afford a PS5 because PS5 has become 3 or 4 times the price of what PS2 was back in the day. So yeah, that's my goal for 2025. Maybe play hell a lot of games, buy maybe 2 consoles and a VR, maybe, hopefully, and just relax. I don't want to win, I don't want to be the best at the games that I play. I just want to play for fun, because that's the thing which I missed out on. Whenever I started, there was a period in my life where I started to play a game, and I started to play a game just because I wanted to finish the game. But right now, I don't want to do that. Right now, the only thing which I want to do is play the game just for the fun of it, without any stress, without any, yeah, obviously the stress will be there, but the excitement of playing a game, that is what was missing. I just want to play a game just for the fun of it. I spoke for a very long time, nearly 36 minutes as I'm seeing this. So if you have watched the entirety of my video, I'm just going on yapping on it. Thank you very much, and I think I'll see you tomorrow, maybe, hopefully. Bye.